to my channel. My name's Angela and this is Devon Thread Tales. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some of the things that I plan to make in March. So before I get started, I just wanted to say to anybody that's new to my channel, thank you so much for joining me and I really hope that you enjoy the video. If you do, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more content. I normally post things about sewing and sewing only. Sometimes I do sew-alongs, sometimes I share the things that I've made or my plans of what I'm going to make, and it is mainly sewing, but occasionally a little bit of knitting thrown in as well. So to anybody that has followed me for a long time, I just wanted to say thank you so much for bearing with me for a little while. I know I've been absent for a while, but I've just had a few months of just feeling like I didn't want to sew, couldn't sew, did the odd few bits here and there, and I don't really know why. I think it's an accumulation of different factors really, and so there was really nothing to share and no videos to share with you either, and I just needed a little bit of a break, if I'm absolutely honest with you. But through lots of different things, I feel like I'm ready and raring to go. I think one of the things that was really causing me to have a bit of a lack of sewing or clothing inspiration was that I feel like everything's sort of changing for me a little bit. I don't feel like I want to wear the things that I used to wear. I don't want to wear what's in the height of fashion, and I felt almost a little bit confused about what things I wanted to wear and therefore what I wanted to sew, and I think that really halted things up for me for a little while. So I really kind of stepped away from doing anything, if I'm absolutely honest, and I think that did me good. I think it did me good to have a little bit of a break away from sewing rather than trying to force the issue and force trying to sew, because at the end of the day it's something that I really enjoy and I didn't want to fall out of love with it because I was making myself do something. I had a few projects that I felt had gone wrong as well, and when you have a project that goes wrong, quite often you then will sew something else and it's absolutely fine. But I had sort of 2, 3, possibly even 4 projects that all kind of accumulated, and I just felt sort of a bit, well, cheesed off with it, if I'm absolutely honest. So I think that's another reason why I've sort of had quite a big break. But as I say, I feel quite inspired at the moment. A combination of lots of things, inspiration taken from different places. So just seeing people out and about and thinking, I quite like that style, or I like that, or Instagram and seeing things on Instagram, that's always quite good as well. And so I do feel really sort of prepared to go forward and plan lots of different makes. And like always, when planning, I had about a gazillion different things that I wanted to sew. So I've tried to really keep it sort of simple and break it down and only sort of try to sew around about 2 to 3 things, or sorry, 3 to 4 things, something like that. I think that makes it achievable for the month. And I've got a couple of things in there which are more long-term projects as well. So I thought I would share all of that with you. So I'm going to start with the longer term planned items, and they are 2 items that I've actually had as a Guthrie Ghani Sewing Society kit, but they are still patterns that you can still access elsewhere. You can buy the patterns separately, so I feel it's okay to share that with you even though I've bought them as kits. So the first one that I'm going to do or share with you is the Totem Bag, and this is a Merchant and Mills pattern, and I'm doing this alongside with Helen from Stitch Rip Repeat. She and I had decided that we were going to sew this together because we realised we both had the same kit. So we had an afternoon or a day a couple of weeks ago where we started it and sort of started to prepare all of the fabric and have sewed a few bits and pieces together. And then after that we've had a little bit of a break because it's been half term, and of course we're all busy with children and things. So next week we're going to meet up again and do a little bit more. There's a step in between that we're both going to do separately and then start afresh next week. But it was really nice because although we've got the same bag, we've actually got different fabric, which is lovely. So she's got the navy blue with a really gorgeous, I think it's almost like a fish detail on the lining, which is lovely. And mine is a khaki green, a dark khaki green, like this. Hopefully you'll be able to see that colour there. Dark khaki green, and I've then got sort of a leafy kind of lining to go with it. And I'm really pleased with how this is going. The Totem Bag, if I can show you the cover, looks like this. So it's almost a bit like a satchel. I really like the idea of it. I think it'll be a really nice sort of basic bag to have. And if I show you the different line drawings on the back, so it comes with the option of either having a leather belt or a fabric kind of type belt, and the kit came with a fabric belt. So I'll show you what I've done so far. Not very much, but actually what we did took a really long time because it was a lot of very accurate sewing. This is very folded up, so it's probably a little bit creased, unfortunately. But other than sewing up, getting all of the pattern pieces ready, this is the bit that we did together. So we've got these very boxy pockets, so they sort of stand out, sort of slightly triangle kind of shape. And I believe that this is then going to create sort of a flap that comes over the top like that. So yeah, I'm hoping that when I see Helen next week that we might be able to, if not finish, get really close to finishing it. And I think it'll be a really nice bag to have, and I think it'll be a really nice bag to make in different fabrics as well. I think this would look really nice in a heavyweight upholstery fabric, and then you could choose lots of different bright colours and patterns and things like that. So I'm hoping that I have lots of success with that, and I'll share it with you when it's all done. The next thing that I'm going to share with you is another Sewing Society kit, and this is another longer term sort of project. I've actually again started it, but I am reserving it to sew only when I go to my Tuesday sewing club that I go to, or sewing club, sewing meetup, sewing, I'm not quite sure what we call it actually, class, sewing class. It isn't a class where we go and all sew the same thing. It's where you take your own project and work on that and then there's a very lovely qualified teacher there called Vanessa, who is extremely skilled, and she will go through everything from fitting to the more technical issues with sewing and that kind of thing, or if there's things that you don't understand in your pattern. She's really fantastic, and I've really enjoyed meeting her, meeting the other ladies that are there at Make 140, and yeah, just seeing what everybody else is sewing. I also go there along with Helen from Stitch Rip Repeat again, and she is making a really amazing pair of Lander pants at the moment, and I can't wait to see them finish. In fact, I'm hoping she might even finish them today, we'll see. And it's really given me inspiration. That's one of the things that I thought of that I'd like to make. That, along with the fact that I saw Carrie from, now she's changed her name, she used to be So Pretty Kitty, but now she is Thread Therapy, I think. She's made a pair of Lander pants in a completely different fabric from Helen, and I really feel sort of like, yes, I want to make a pair of those, but I'm keeping it simple this month and trousers just isn't on the agenda. So but the thing that I'm making, really diverted there, didn't I? The thing that I'm making is the Friday pattern Ilford jacket. Now, I saw this pattern for quite some time online. I saw it on Instagram, lots of different versions. People make it as a shirt, some people make it as jackets, made from so many different varieties of different fabric. It's also unisex, so, you know, male or female, and it's just a really lovely, boxy pattern, and I don't think it's something that you need to worry too much about fitting either, so I've gone with my body measurements and not sort of diverted from that at all. But yeah, I think it's just going to be a really nice jacket, and I'm making it out of this beautiful winey sort of red coloured twill. I think it's just a twill fabric. It hasn't got any stretch to it at all. It's lovely and thick. I don't know if you can see sort of the weave in that. It's just really lovely. And then I'm doing all of the binding. So I've made bias binding from a lawn fabric which came with the kit, and I'm doing all of the different like the undercuff and the collars and things like that in this. So sort of the two together just work really beautifully. I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and I cannot wait to finish this jacket. But it's a nice involved sew. I don't have to use my overlocker though, which is quite nice because I'm binding everything. So I'm just taking my machine with me on a Tuesday and taking my time and just really enjoying the process of doing it and not worrying too much about fitting, because like I say, it's a nice boxy jacket. So I can't wait to share that one with you. So the next thing that I'm going to share with you is something really a little bit different. I am not going from a sewing pattern, and I've never done this before. Or have I? No, I have actually done it. I made a pair of trousers for my mum, and I cloned a pair from a pair that she already owned because I knew they fit her. They were exactly the sort of style that she wanted. Now, in my quest to try and find some clothes that I feel really comfortable in and I like wearing and fit me nicely, I've been wanting to have the perfect shirt dress pattern for me. And I have made a few shirt dresses, and hopefully I'll be sharing with you a makes video soon, and I'll share some of the shirt dresses that I've made so far. But I really wanted something that was long and swishy and I made the Tilly and the Buttons Lyra shirt dress quite some time ago, and I shared that on a video, and I really like it. It's really nice, but there is something about ruffles and gathering that I just don't feel comfortable in, and lots of shirt dresses do seem to have that same kind of style. So I've been trying to find something that I like which doesn't have that ruffle around the tummy area. And when I was out with my husband a couple of weeks ago, I very naughtily bought a dress. I went into a shop and went, that's the sort of thing I want to have, and I thought I would just try it on. But when I came out and showed my husband, he was like, oh, just get it, just treat yourself, just get it. And I was like, oh no, I don't buy clothes, I only sew clothes. But I bought it and I absolutely love it. It's just a very simple shirt dress, but it has sorry, it's not done up. I'll try and put some pictures up from the internet on the screen so you can see what it looks like. Actually, if I'd seen it on the internet, I don't think I'd have bought it. I don't think it looks all that great in the pictures that are online, but I really like it and the way that it looks on me when I wear it, and I've worn it with a little pair of trainers and things. And I think the difference with this shirt dress to other shirts that dresses that I've worn is that it actually has princess seams, and I think that gives me a really nice shape. And I seem to remember there was a dress that I made last year that wasn't a shirt dress. It was had like a V-neck. It was the Shelby, True by a Shelby shirt dress, romper suit, I think it was, that I made, and that had princess seams as well. And I seem to remember that fitted me really nicely, and I hadn't given it any thought about the whole princess seam thing, so that's something that I'm going to look into a little bit more as well. So I've been really busily trying to trace this pattern as best as I can, which I don't know if that's right or wrong, really. I don't know if that's a bit naughty doing that, but it's not like I'm making it to reproduce and sell. I'm just making it because it's such a lovely fit and I want to make it out of my own fabric. So I don't know how that's going to turn out. I'm excited about doing it, but nervous at the same time because I don't want to waste fabric. I have got some fabric that I could use that I wouldn't necessarily wear out and try on. But what I'd like to make it in eventually is this fabric here, which is a really beautiful viscose fabric that I bought from Sew Your Own Wardrobe in Leicester. So it's just this sagey green colour with like a white polka dot, which is uneven. You know, it's not a symmetrical polka dot. I think I've got enough of this fabric, but if I haven't, I do also have loads of other viscose fabrics that I could use, but I think that would be a really nice one to use. It's really beautiful. It's got a lovely texture to it. It's got a really nice drape to it, and I think that would look really nice. So that is my sort of, well, pushing the boundaries a bit kind of project for this month. One of the other things that I would really like to make is a collection of blouses. I like wearing jeans and a t-shirt and maybe a little denim skirt. So like today I've got on just a little denim skirt, and I've got that on with my Nora top from Tilly and the Buttons, and I like that, but sometimes you want to feel a little bit more put together. You don't necessarily want to wear something that's really overdressed, so you might still want to wear jeans, but it's nice to sort of dress them up a little bit with a nice blouse. And I've seen so many different blouse patterns out and about recently, and I had a blouse pattern that I was going to make, which was I want to say it's Sew Liberated, but I'm not 100% sure of the pattern company, but I'll put the name up on the screen and an image of what it looked like. It was the Matcha blouse, and I had a bit of a disaster, which was my own fault, but I'm rectifying that and hoping that in a month or so's time I'll be able to show you that make that I was making a long time ago now that I've resolved the problem that I had with it. But I had that one, and I have seen lots of people have been making the Atelia Jupe Frida Blouse, I think it's called. So I first saw this and was made aware of it from one of the lovely ladies that I go to the sewing class with on a Tuesday. She had the blouse on, and I was like, oh, I really like that. What is it? And I was like looking at the shape of it, and I just really liked it. I just thought it was a lovely shaped blouse. And then since then, I've seen lots of people have sewn it, and actually Rachel from Stitched Up had done a sew along with it. And then I think the final sway for me was Andrea from Beyond the Pink Door put a post up on Instagram with her wearing her latest version of it, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get that. So I bought the pattern, and I really fancy having a go at that. So I have lots of different fabrics that I feel like I could use for that. Just pop them down here now. The first one that I'm going to use, I'm going to use as a trial run to make sure that it fits me properly, but hopefully I'll be able to wear it. This is a fabric that I bought quite some time ago from Minerva Craft or minerva.com, and when it came, I don't know why, I thought it was a navy blue background with flowers on it, but actually it's a purple background, and I'm just not sure about it. It's a bit kind of wild for me, if I'm absolutely honest, but I think it could be quite a nice blouse. So I might have a little go at making the Frida blouse with that. But if I change my mind, then I might use this. Now this is a fabric that I've had for a long time. I think I bought it when I first started sewing, and I bought it from Guthrie Ghani, and it's one of those fabrics that I've just sort of held on to for such a long time, and I just need to get on with it and sew it. But I really like that fabric. I think it's beautiful, and the colours in it are absolutely lovely, and it's cheery, isn't it, because it's nice flowers. So that'll be nice, and maybe make us all feel make me feel a bit nicer from all this horrible rain and things that we've been having. The other blouse that I've been thinking about, and I bought this pattern, I actually bought it from Guthrie Ghani, is the Dear and Doe Melilot, and I don't know if I'm saying that right, but the Melilot shirt. And I really like the idea of this short sleeve version. I think it's really simple. It's got really nice sort of lines. It's a grown on sleeve, so it shouldn't be anything too difficult to do. I quite like the collar on this one, so I'd probably do this collar but on this style here. And again, I would use possibly this if I didn't end up doing the Atelia Jupe Frida blouse, then I might use this pattern as well. So I've got a couple of shirt options there. I'm not being definite with telling you which one I'm going to do, because I'm just not quite sure yet which one I want to do. You never know, I might end up doing both, but we'll see, because time's a bit limited at the moment. So the last thing that I'm going to make is, I feel really bad saying this, it is yet again another Guthrie Ghani Sewing Society kit, but again, it's a pattern you can buy. It's not something that you can only get with the kit. But I got this because, again, when it came up on my screen, when I was looking at the emails that got sent through from the Sewing Society, it was another dress that didn't have this, didn't have any gathering around the waist, and I really liked it. And I could have gone for a plain fabric, or I could have gone for a patterned fabric, and I went for it, and I went for the patterned fabric. So I have bought the Sew Liberated Stasia Dress, I think it's called, Stasia Dress, and I'll put the images up on the screen. I really love this, and when I saw Lauren from Guthrie Ghani wearing this version, I just fell in love with it instantly, and I knew I wanted to make it. But because it's a jersey dress, I feel like it's going to be something that's going to be really easy, and do they call it a palette cleanser when you've had a few bad runs with some sewing bits and pieces? So I feel like this is something that once I've made it, will feel really sort of, well, I'm hoping it will feel really lovely to make it, and it'll be easy and it will fit well because it's, you know, stretch fabric, so it's not difficult to fit. this fabric, I think, is a modal. I think that's what it's described as, and it's just got these splodges. I mean, I think it's meant to be an animal print, but kind of not. I'm not sure. Not a colour I would normally go for, but like I say, I just saw it and I fell in love with it, and I think that will look really nice in this dress. So that quite possibly will be my first project that I attack. And then I think the next one that I'm going to do is the shirt dress, and that's sort of my order of preference that I'm going to, do all of those sewing things in. So I hope that you've enjoyed that. I feel like I've waffled on quite a lot. I feel like I'm so out of practice from making videos for you guys, so I'm sorry about that. I am going to try and share with you soon some of the makes that I've made over the last few months that I haven't shared. There's not a huge amount, so I think it'll be enough for one video, and then hopefully at the end of the month I'll be able to share with you some of these new things that I have planned as well. I'm not going to be doing any sew-alongs for a little while. They take a huge amount of time to do, and I just don't have that time at the moment. I'm working quite a lot, and I've got lots of commitments with my girls as well, so it's a bit difficult. And one of the other things that I used to do back in 2021, I was doing a 1 week me made and then whatever month it was. And I stopped doing them at Christmas, basically because I felt like I didn't have any new things to share with you in terms of clothing, and I didn't want it to get repetitive and boring, and I really did enjoy making those videos, and I think lots of people enjoyed watching them, so I will go back to doing them again, but once I've got a few more bits and pieces in my wardrobe that I can share with you and take you about on my day-to-day journey for a week. Anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed that. I hope that you're all having a good week. Let me know what you're up to, and I'll try and get to answer all of the comments that I haven't answered in the last couple of months as well, so I'm sorry about that. But other than that, I hope you're all well. You take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.